there's a strain between newcomers and those who've been in this area for years.
It's hard to break in here. I think that the city and the people here have been through a lot over the years, and frankly there's been a lot of interest from people outside, kind of like parachuting in, being like, I want to be part of Detroit.
I think Gino moving to Detroit when he graduates is definitely a good idea. I think he's got good reasons for wanting to go. It'll be good for him, and it'll be good for the city.
Honestly, I'm pretty excited because I'm hoping that he'll go there and like figure out everything, and then I'll just join him in about a year or so.
I mean, I think it's great that Gino has the desire to engage with a community that's different than his own.
My name's Alex Gaggino. I grew up in a few different places, some different suburbs of Detroit, but a lot of the community work that I did and the contributions that I made towards any sort of community, most of those were in Detroit.
All right, my name is Rosalind Flint. I was raised and bred in the city of Detroit.
Moved out here after I graduated from the School of Music. No job. Didn't really know many people out here, just me and a couple friends.
I was born and raised Detroit, Michigan, on the east side, East Warren, one of the most dangerous areas in this city.
In short, I'm a lifelong Detroiter. I'm from the west side, Joy Road, Wyoming area, and lived there all my life.
I started when I was 11. My dad bought me an airbrush after taking me to an airbrush shop to get something airbrushed and found out how much it cost. Said rather than paying that type of money, I'll get you your own airbrush.
So we knew that this neighborhood news center is right at the north end of what's called the M1 rail, or the Q line. So this is a light rail project that goes from downtown to kind of like through the University District and up into New Center, Detroit.
I welcome everybody. It's just, I wish that the people that were already here weren't pushed out.
It's the new resident versus the old resident concept that's going on. There's also the farmers versus the non-farmers, and there's also the racial divide that's also going on in the community. So we're trying to come up with ways so we can all be on one accord.
The thing I'm afraid of is kind of the divide getting worse and it kind of showing up like how it was back in the 60s when it was like Detroit was doing well, Detroit was succeeding, but the divide culturally between people, you know, the interpersonal problems is what drove the city apart.
I feel like it is on the slope up. I just feel like we need to do that in the right way and to still keep a lot of what the city was built on and not just try to create your own, you know.
I do feel that a lot of the initiative is in downtown and midtown and not in the neighborhoods.
It's hard for me to say that the inner city is coming up as much as downtown, because I mean, it's definitely not.
I mean, there's some like legitimate concerns that the neighborhoods have because this stuff is happening in the epicenter of the city, right? It's happening downtown, it's happening in Midtown. You're starting to see waves that'll go out, but I can understand and commiserate with folks who've lived in the city for 60 years and it's finally turning around, but their neighborhood is still getting worse.
So I would like to see a little more initiative, investment in the neighborhood, investment in not just brick and mortar, but investment in the people.
The best situation would just for like the scope of all this revitalization to kind of go farther out.
It has to be some type of jobs so people feel good about themselves.
I mean, I personally don't want to live in the inner city of Detroit, period.
Our house was broken into while we were building it 3 times and all of our tools were stolen out of it and like stuff was taken and like people threw bricks through windows and you know, so that was not awesome. But at the same time, like I think that the community in general was like super excited about it because like this house had been abandoned for 30 years, right?
See, that's the other thing too. It's just really about how you carry yourself and how you blend in.
One thing let me say about Detroiters. When you're living in a community that is familiar with a lot of crime, they do look at you suspiciously. It don't have nothing to do with you. It's just something that you are taught and apt to trust everybody. You see, so you have that. You look a lot. You say, why the hell? Why nobody smiling? Why people looking kind of you know, mad or angry? That's really just a face that you have to put on that look. I'm not the person that you want to try. Actually, that's what it is. Yeah. It's a defense mechanism. It doesn't mean, and all you have to do is maybe smile and they can get that smile back.
Kind of like know how to look like you may have a gun on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I walk in the store and I automatically do this. Like I'm adjusting the pistol, whether I have one or not. You know, I might.
If you make friends down here and you associate with certain people, make sure you're very wise when you're talking to them. If you hear about the gang activity they're doing, you gotta, keep your distance. People down here, it's not like a secrecy thing. They're kind of very blatant and flamboyant with their gang activity.
A lot of parts on the east side that I wouldn't do. There's a lot of parts on the west side most parts on the east and west side I wouldn't do.
Move into a place that you can call your own, but you don't go moving to all the newest neighborhoods with new built houses with new landlords, and it's gonna happen more over the years, I would bet. But find someone good to give your money to out here. Live somewhere good and somewhere that has some of its roots still attached.
Go explore this city that you're part of, because it's 142 square miles. Like, it's a big city. There's 700,000 people here. If you stay in Midtown Detroit, it's like 7.2 miles. It's like nothing.
I discover more stuff about this city every weekend. Every time I go out, you learn just of a new place or a new area, or a new group of people doing something.
I think it's good to have newcomers down here and give them more of a reason to tear these abandoned houses down and put up new ones, for newcomers, and make sure everything's right.
When we first bought these houses, everything west of here, so everything west was pretty much abandoned. There was one occupied house on the block west of here. Now, every single one of those houses is either occupied or in the process of being restored.
What I love about here is the people. It's nothing like Detroit if you've grown up here and you've been here your whole life.
It's the sense of community, the sense of people that are out here right now. A lot of the young and old people working together and just creating a vibe out here.
The way of talking and the way of being, your whole energy is different. Like when I leave the city and people you're not from here, are you?
It's not necessarily where you live, but how you live there. As long as you have positivity and bring that and keep that within yourself, nothing should really happen. The city gets a bad rep, as I said before.
You nod when you walk past someone, and you acknowledge them. It's not like an uptight community. You say hey to people that you don't know, and you greet people, and you hold the door for people. You interact with people more. I would even say more so than Ann Arbor.
50 years ago, this was one of the wealthiest places on the planet. Literally in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, Detroit was the wealthiest city in the world, not just in the country, in the world. To what the hell, what happened here? And I mean, part of my naive patriotic self is well, we as Americans, Detroit is America. It is the most emblematic of the power of capitalism, and also kind of the most emblematic of what can happen when it's allowed to run amok. And I'm if we believe, and I do, in a capitalist system, we got to fix Detroit.
It's not a blank canvas. A lot of people think Detroit's this blank canvas you could go to and do whatever. There's a lot of stuff still here, and a lot of stuff you still need to abide by. But then you can learn a lot from it, and you can really get into the community.
We're headed towards a multicultural, diverse, inclusive society, and I think if Detroit could be the leader for that, that would be amazing for the country and for the world and everything.
It's a beautiful city, man. It's a very beautiful city and very big, and there's a lot of possibilities. We just have to have that hope. When people lose hope and money, hope and money, then that'll change everything.
Space is running out globally, so it only makes sense that more people are going to move into Detroit.
And I think that's exciting, to try to start new things and to bring other people into ventures that haven't been done before. And I think Detroit's a great place to do that.
Like people say, I never understood the phrase in New York, like, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Like
Detroit's a good spot to move to if you're broke and young.
All the opportunity that's there, like that's hard. Like try living in Detroit. Like if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. You know what I mean?